Yes, good. Make sure make sure to inform your friends, those who are already in the meeting, to inform in next 2 minutes, or else they'll be kept out of the decision. So inform earliest to join. And in next couple of minutes, I want everyone's status updates in the chat box. In the next couple of minutes, I want everyone's status updates in the chat box. Then we'll start the sessions. Yeah, now you can enter your progresses in the chat box. Ananya, can you turn off your video, please? Yes, I could see your Ananya. Turn off your video. Yes, I see in the chat box of your updates. Yeah, I could see many different kinds of updates today. Some of you are done with session 7 and 8 completed. Good. Session working on session 7. Session 7 completed. Yeah, good to see your updates of those who completed both the sessions of 7 and 8. And also, no worries, those who completed session 7 up to session 7, that's also very good. That's a great job. And please make sure that you complete the session 8 also as earliest. I'm saying for those who have still not completed the session 8, please make sure that to complete it as earlier. Is that clear? Yes, or else there is no worries. You can complete those things. Yeah, Mika, yes. Even after when you submit those tasks, the next day you can't see a view submission because after submitting, you should also give a or you should also click mark as completed. You should also click the mark as completed. Only when you click on mark as completed, then when you log into your platform, then it will show view submission dates. It will not show again to start. So once you start and once you submit all those code labs, you should have to go with mark as completed. Then only you can see the view submission dates. So yes, we'll move with the next session on the platform. And before going to next session, I'll just brief you that the next sessions, that is session 9 and 8, is all about we are going to learn more about Kotlin. Whereas in the previous sessions, what we watched, what we discussed, like in the previous courses, as we saw the Kotlin fundamentals in the session 5. Exactly. Now we are moving with the next difficulty stage of the Kotlins. Not the word I could say difficulty. Instead of that, I could say we'll get a more pitch or we'll get a more grip on it. Yeah, and basically, before this session starts, in the previous session, what we had discussed earliest, that is a Kotlin fund. It was just like all about one session with the, like 4 to 5 code labs. But yeah, in these coming sessions, you have 2 sessions only to learn more about the Kotlin fundamentals. There is a more brief part, more discussive things to get an idea of more on the Kotlin language. So today, the first thing is I'll just uh, show you the code labs and I'll just present you all the things we have to cover today, and then I'll share you a PPT share your PPT and explain on those particular key aspects and areas over there. Just give me a minute and I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, I guess my screen is visible for everyone, right? Yes, great. Now, yeah, as I was saying the earlier, the thing over that was I was saying is, see, in the session 5, we have just focused on the Kotlin fundamentals, where now this is the level 2 of learning more things on the Kotlin fundamentals. In the session 5, we have just foundation of we have go with the foundation of the fundamentals. We have just had a foundation for the Kotlin fundamentals to learn that language, to understand that part. And now in the session 9, we are going with the Kotlin fundamentals that we have the two parts on the single chapter, that is Kotlin fundamentals part 1 and part 2. Yes. Just give me a second. Oh, yes. Now moving to the session 9, that is learning more things on the Kotlin fundamentals. See, one person asked that even after I'll just show you, even when you after completing the labs and ADK tasks, if it's still again once you again come back to the platform, if it's still showing the start button, then remember one thing. See, when you start the code lab and you will do all the code labs over here and you will submit. Once you did all these code labs, then then when you submit over here, you have to give a mark as complete and you have to just click on yes, submit. Yes, you can see, right? Once you just do that thing, then you will find a completion date and yeah, at what date you have completed. Again, when you enroll, again when you log into the platform, you will not again see the start button over there. Yes. Now moving to the first thing, generics, objects, and extensions. Generics, objects, and the extensions. Yeah. The first thing is you would see let's look into the introductions and what are all the prerequisites and what we're going to learn in this first. We'll watch out. Yeah, just give me a second. Yes, you can see. Yeah, we'll come up with the different titles, subtitles, or different major concepts, generics, different kinds of classes, that is enum classes and data classes, singleton companion objects, extension properties and functions, and the scope functions. And what the prerequisites we are going to look at familiarity with object-oriented programming concepts, including inheritance and how to define implement interface. Yes, I guess in today's and tomorrow, no, in today's and in the Monday session, you will just get the oral classes. There will be no such task for you because it's all on the theory. No need of working on the Android Studio because there is no need of building it. You have to just learn these things on your own. So the task will be less. So if the thing you have to do is you have to just complete the pending things what you have missed. Like some most of them are still not yet completed. Session 7, 6. So you will get a sufficient time to complete those things. So just complete those things and just finish it off today's session 9's code labs. Yes. Yeah. By moving to next, the prerequisites of this familiarity with the objects-oriented programming concepts, including and implement interfaces. Yeah. While moving to next, I know that these theory parts it's a very boring thing, and we'll get a lot of sleep over here while doing and covering up these concepts. If we have some code labs, if we have some working Android Studio on, we are building some things, it's quite good. We have do better things, but these theory parts, even I also don't like this. But we have to complete it. So let's not waste so much of time. I'll move up faster, and we'll finish it off earliest itself. We could have finished by 11:40 or 11:45. We could have completed faster these sessions. Is that okay for everyone? Yeah, I could have seen now better thumbs ups. Yes. Yeah. Now, going on with the next, the things we're gonna learn is how to define the generic instance, generic classes, enum and data classes, where and generic type parameter that must implements an interface, scope functions, singleton objects, and companion object for classes, and existing classes with existing classes with then new properties and methods. Yes. Now, I'll just go short with these parts. I'll not just go with every individual aspect. About the references thing you're gonna look on your own. I'll just go with the, and moreover, you can see they have given the Kotlin playground to work on all these codes. This is no need of working in the Android Studio. It's just for working purpose, exercise purpose in the Kotlin playground. What are all these shortcuts has been given in the platform is all about for your exercise purpose over there. Yeah. What is reusable classes with generics is it basically it allows a class to work with different data types, and for example in string, and you can without rewriting the class, it could make code flexible and reusable, where they have given many things over here. I said as earlier I said I'll just give a short and straight points over it. Then I'll share the PPT so that you can understand very easily on that thing. Moving to next, enum class. In enum class, which a class is used when you have a fixed set of constant values over here, like days, status, directions. Basically, it improves your readability and safety over here. So this is the thing we have using an enum class over here. As I said, you can see, right? You can do with the easy. They have given in the these below defining an enum class called difficulty, easy, and hard over there. Like as I said, like days, states, and directions. And moving with the use the data classes in this thing, a data class is used to store data. It is the major thing you have to keep in mind where it automatically provides you useful features like equality check, copy, and the readable outputs for you. So this is basically use data class, and you can see over here there is no theoretical parts over here. Uh, they have given many codes to practice, and only some of the major lines you have to concentrate. That's it, and all the things you have to just work on the code in playground. Yeah, we are using a singleton object because it ensures only one instance of a class where it exists in the entire app, and basically it is useful for the shared resource like settings or the database helpers. And moving to the extend classes with the new properties and methods where extensions allows we use this because extensions allows you to add new functionalities to existing classes without modifying the original code. Yeah, we use this to only basically use this to modify the original code to the existing classes. And the rewriting extension functions using the interface where instead of the extensions we can see the interfaces to define common behavior that multiple cases can implement. As you can see here, for the progress interface we are going with the multiple cases which can implement on it. And moving to the use scope function to access class properties and methods where this helps with the scope functions help you access object properties and methods more easily, and which makes your code cleaner and more readable. Yeah, this is helps for your code to make some better, cleaner and readable thing, which refers to the debug area sections and making a fresh code of your building errors. Yeah, and summary of it, I'll just go with the short. While considering all these concepts, which help you to write the clean, reusable, maintainable, and professional Kotlin code. Yeah, this all the things what you are gonna look now. This all helps you to build the better, best professional code in your Kotlin. As I said, you which it can be a clean, reusable, maintainable, and professional. Yes. Now, this is all about the generics, objects, and the extensions. Then, and you can see right the higher order function with collections and the practice classes and collections. These two code tabs are continuation in the session 10. In the session 9, only we can see the two code labs. The one is generics objects extensions, and the another is use collections in Kotlin. Where, as I said, the 10th session, it is the continuation. You can see over here. When you open the 10th session, you could just complete these two things. I'll just show you what are things. And now the next code lab we are going with the use collections in Kotlin. Yeah. Now I'll not go with this code lab in the platform. I'll share you the PPT. Once the PPT is done, then we'll come up again to the platform and I'll discuss what all the things you have to do. Worries, we'll complete in the today's session. The 9th session we'll complete full. That is the second and third code lab. The next 4 and 5 code labs is also theory. Basically, the fifth code lab, they have given some minimal codes to practice in the Kotlin playground. You could have complete those two code labs so that from Monday we can start with the next session, that is session 11. So, whether everyone are able to complete the session 10 right today? 9 and 10 will everyone complete, right? It is all about theory. There is no tasks, so you could have complete easily. As I said, it is theoretical part. Yes, good, good. Yeah. Now, just give me a second. I'll just share you a PPT on it. We'll just concentrate on those parts. Just give me a second. Yes, I guess my screen is visible for everyone, right? Okay. Now, the first, as we discussed now, we are going with the generics, objects, and extensions in Kotlin, where we organize with the collections, save and categorize content based on our preferences. Yeah, basically, in this code lab, we'll explore key Kotlin features for writing the expressive and maintainable code, as I said you earlier. Yeah, we already got an idea in the platform. Yes, you already got an idea in the platform where where what you will gonna learn on these particular aspects. We'll recall it again. That first is generic type and generic type parameters where it defines the ins instantiate generic classes for flexible data types. Yes, we'll look into it. Where, as I said again, I'll repeat it again. We are going to define and instantiate generic classes for flexible data types over here. And the next thing is we are looking for it enum and data classes where we'll understand when to use the enum data and for the structured data enum data class for enum data classes and data class for the structured data, and moving to the singleton and companion objects where it defines the utilize, filter, and the companion objects for unique instances. And the next is extension properties and functions where we are going to look the extending existing classes with the new properties and methods and scope functions. Yes, going with the first thing, that is use your reusable classes with the generics. Reusable classes with the generics. Yeah, this is basically when we're creating any quiz questions or repetition arises where each answer type, that is a string or boolean. Sorry, yeah, string or boolean where it requires separate classes like generics or this by the placeholder data types for properties. Where you can see I had also given an code example over there where you can see the I have called a class function that is fill in blanks, true or false, and the numeric question where the problem. This is the problem. Sorry, this is the problem related class. And also, the major thing is, for example, idea we can take it as one class for fill in the blanks, that is a string is an answer, where one class for true or false, that we are going with the Boolean answer, and one class for numeric question, that is an int for an answer. And also, why inheritance is not enough, because even if we use inheritance, we still need a different subclasses or for each answer type if it does not completely remove the duplications over there. And moreover, the generics allows you us to create a one reusable class with a placeholder type. Now, coming to the what are the what are the generic data types? We look into this. What are the generic data types? Yeah, in Kotlin, the generics are not specific data types. The thing you have to understand is Kotlin, the generics are not specific data types, where they are a placeholder for the data types. There is a difference between the specific data types and the placeholder for data types. And coming to what is generic type means, a generic type where you can usually written as type, element, key, values, and the results. Where those are just naming conversations. You can use any letters over it. And and as you can see over there, the types also can be used with the generics, with the any data type such as you can go with the string, int, double float, boolean, character, etc. You can go with any of things over here. And the basic important note on it that is in Kotlin, generics work with the object types. Primitive types like int are automatically treated as the object version. And moving with the next part, that is refactoring with generics. Yes, refactoring with the generics. Yeah, it is basically using the type T for answer property and a single question class where you can handle the various answer types. Yes, eliminating redundant class definitions, where it basically means improving the structure of code without changing its functionalities. Yes, and also when you use the generic for refactoring, we replace the multiple similar classes with one reusable generic classes. And and you can see over here I have given different code sections over there. There is generic question class and initiating questions. And also suppose like we create one class for one string type and one class for one boolean type and one class for one int type. All classes we have is the same properties, that is questions, text or difficulties, and same behavior with only the answer type is different over there. Where this leads to an code duplications, where hard maintenance and more classes images. Yeah. Now coming to the enhancing code with the enum classes. So these are all the things what I'm explaining in the code labs. But instead of code labs, I'm explaining the same thing in the PPT part. So no worries, you can just complete those code labs and you can finish it off over there as it's a theory part. So yeah, now coming to the enhancing code with the enum classes, where an enum class you can, which it is used to represent a flex set of constant values. Yeah, it is basically used to fix a set constant of the values in a fixed set of constant values in a clean and structured way. Yeah, this is the main objective of enhancing code with the enum classes. It is a set of constant values where you can where constant values where it is in a clean and structured way. So why we use a enum class? Because instead of using a random strings, numbers, hardcore values, we use enum to avoid mistakes, improve readability, and make code safer. While taking an examples, while taking an example, like if your app has a difficulty levels like easy, medium, hard, the first, second, third stage, instead of writing them as a string everywhere, we define them as a enum. Where this ensures only valid values are used, no spell mistakes, and better auto completion support over there. Yes. Now coming to the data classes, where it might be some interesting factors over here. Sorry. Might be interesting factors where you can see as it is a name with the Data classes were simplifying data representation. Yes. Yeah, you can see the major things you could have observed over the data class string equals hash code. Yeah, these are all the things you could have observed majorly. While going, what is the data classes means? It is specifically designed to hold and manage the data in a simple and a clean way. And moreover, normally we are using the data classes because when we are creating a regular class to store data, we need manual like constructors, getter and setter methods to string equals hash code. Yeah, you can look into the screen, the mention over there, and basically this increases the code length and repetition. Yes. And how data classes simplifies statements. Data classes automatically provides meaningful string representations, quality comparison, copying functionalities, Stiga and Scala code with a better readability. Yeah, it is useful in the storing user details, representing models like students' product questions, handling API response, transferring data between components. Yes. Then we have the next part is singleton object ensuring unique. Yes, I'll just go with, I'll just exaggerate these things. Yeah, basically a singleton object, it is a class that allows only one instance to exist in the entire applications where using of singleton why we should use a singleton because sometimes we need only one shared instance such as database helpers, network managers, logger configuration settings. Yeah, these are all the things and the key features are only one instance is created and global access point and also basically it saves money. Yeah, it saves money and maintains a shared state across the app. Yes, these are all the major key features you could have a look over there and how it enhances a code like it ensures a controlled access to resource improvements, performance, avoid duplicated objects, and keep code organizing. Now, coming companion object classes, scope, singleton, that is where companion object. It is a special type of singleton that belongs to a class, where it allows to define members that are tied to class itself, not to the instances. And why we use a companion object because share with the we have want shared methods or properties, factory methods, constants related to our class. Now coming to the last part, that is extending classes with new functionalities as in the previous part, we have gone through many such aspects. We have looked over with the many things over there. Now coming to the last part of the first code lab in the session 6, that is, extending classes with the new functionality. Yeah. In this thing, I'm going to say that extending the classes basically it means adding new properties, or methods to an existing classes without modifying its original code. Where that in Kotlin, this is a commonly done using extension functions and extension property. And why we have to extend the classes? Because sometimes we cannot modify the original classes like built-in classes, and basically we want cleaner and more reliable codes over there. And how to enhance the code means we have to keep code modular and clean, improves the readability and helps in the reusability. Basically, it avoids unnecessary inheritance. Yes, I'll share you the next PPT part. I mean the code lab of the session 9, second code lab of the session 9. If this code lab is done, then we are completed with the session 9. Another continuation code lab, that is 4 and 5, the continuation of the session 9, that is session 10. In the session 10, it will be the continuation of the session 9, that is the next two code labs 4 and 5, that you have to go on with your own. And that in that code labs you have just to practice some minimal codes in over there. I'll just make it faster to complete this PPT and we'll wind up this session. Yes, I guess my screen is visible for everyone, right? Is my screen is visible for everyone? Yes. Now we are moving to the next code lab of the session 9. That is all about the use collections in Kotlin. Yeah, where we will just look into the stay on which it says in the word, as you can see in the PPT image over there. It says all about the staying organized with the collections, where you say and categorize content based on your preferences. Yeah, basically these code labs, you will explore the arrays, lists, sets, and the maps for managing multiple values. Yeah, and you could have get a question over there. What is the uses of collections? Where we use the collections when to storing a multiple student names, managing projects, handling quiz questions, and storing user data over there. And yeah, as you can see over there, you could have see the types of collections in Kotlin. Yeah, that will be the lists, sets, and the maps over there. Yeah, basically lists stores order elements, allows duplicates used when orders matches, where the sets so unique elements, no duplicates allowed, and the map. Yeah, this will be the impact of stores data in a key value base. Each key is a unique over it. And what you're gonna learn on this is, yeah, as I just explained, you'll write these things, arrays, lists, sets, maps over there. You will look into those parts. We'll move on to the next. Yeah, basically, the first thing that we are going with arrays. Yeah, what is arrays in the code line? Yeah, it is the simplest way to group multiple values of the same data types. Yeah, as you can see on the word itself, it's referred as it is the simplest way to group the multiple values. And basically, the elements are ordered access over there. And yeah, the key characters you could have concentrated on is it stores exercised with continuous memory and also access using an index positions over there, where the index starts with an null, or we could have a call with a zero over here. And also we are using a array when we are using an array when there is a number of elements is known, number of elements is known with the data types. It's the same why you need fast access using the index over there. Now, coming to the resizable, yes, coming to the resizable collections. Yeah, it comes basically under the lists where the resizable collection is all about the where the collection size you can increase or decrease dynamically during the program executions over there. And you have to use this resizable collection because you don't need like we don't need always know how much data we should store. We will store, and the data may be added or removed over there. Yeah, the basic common resizable collections in Kotlin that will be considered as a mutable state and mutable list and mutable set over it, where the mutable list comes with the ordered allow duplicates and can add remove updates elements over there. Yeah. Yeah, as you can see, there is a multiple list operations over there. As you can see, I guess everyone knows all about the CRUD operations, where you can see the create, read, update, and delete all those things. Yeah, basically the similar types over here. You could have looked at this in this part. Yeah. Now coming to the next part, that is in the sets. In the sets, we are going with the unique and unordered. Yeah, I guess this will be some interesting term over it. We'll discuss on line briefly on it. Basically, this is a collection where to use store unique elements, which means our duplicate values not allowed over there. And I'll just go with the key characters of set, that is with the stored only unique elements and no duplicates allowed. And moreover, generally unordered and does not guarantee with the element order over there. And also, and also, it can be mutable or immutable state over there. And moving with the maps key value pairs. In this part, you could have seen that a map is a collection that stores the data in the form of key value pairs, where each value is connected to a unique key over there. And when you are using the map is, you're all need going to store student's ID, student name, where the product ID, price, username, email, and the capital. We are going to look these collections and the summary of all these Kotlin collections. Until this, we have gone through the major parts, that is arrays, lists, sets, and maps over here. Yeah. So this ends with the second thing. This ends with the second part of the code lab. Yeah, this ends with the second part of the code lab. That is, in the we have completed the two code labs. Now I'll just share you the LMS, and I'll just brief you what all the things you have to look into the next part. And once we are done with this, we'll wind up the sessions. Yes. Yeah, as you can see right now, we have done with the generics, objects, and extensions and use collections in Kotlin. Yeah, in the next session, that is session 10, it is a continuation. There will be, you can see the next two code labs, the higher order functions with collections and the practice classes and collection. These two code labs comes under in the session 10. So the only task, there is no, I said earlier, there is no need of building any type of things apps in the Android Studio. So the just thing is they have given the some minimal codes over the here. As you can see, yeah, they have starting. They have briefed you to practice in the Kotlin playground. The thing just you have to focus is we have to just practice those things. The minimal codes. Yeah, they have given the minimal codes. You could have just take those codes and practice in the Kotlin playground, not in the Android Studio. Is that clear for everyone? So the today's the next session we are all going to meet up on the Monday. So Monday you could have a lot of sufficient time until that. Until that, those are still held back, like those were still completing session 5, 6, whatever 7. So for them, and those who also completed until session 8, that's well and good. So from on the Monday session, we are meeting at 11. I want everyone to complete until session 10. You have to complete both session 9 and 10. As I said, there is only the code labs, the practice parts you have to do in the Kotlin playground. So it's a sufficient time to complete the theoretical part. There is no need of expanding more on it. So only these many things you have to do is, so yeah, basically you have to complete until session 10 on Monday with all the labs, to-dos labs and the AIDK tasks. With all these things, complete those until session 10. We'll meet on Monday at the same time, 11. So thank you, one and all. Have a good day. Thank you, everyone.